Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Caroline Mueller. 5 people were killed, including a New York City police officer, in a shooting in Midtown Manhattan on Monday evening. Sources say the shooter walked into the high-rise building carrying an AR-style weapon by his side and went to the 33rd floor and opened fire just as people were commuting home from work. Jesse Mitchell reports on the latest.
Multiple people were shot and a police officer was killed Monday evening when a gunman stormed a Midtown Manhattan office building before turning the gun on himself. The gunman has been identified as Shane Tamura, a Las Vegas resident. A still photo shows Tamura approaching the office building located at 345 Park Avenue at around 6:30 p.m. carrying a rifle believed to be an AR-15. The office building that he stormed houses the NFL headquarters, Blackstone, and KPMG. At least one police officer was shot at the scene and later died at a hospital. After opening fire, the gunman reportedly barricaded himself inside the skyscraper and was discovered dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on the 33rd floor. Soon after the shooting, police officers were seen carrying at least one person from the building and performing CPR on the victim in the middle of the street. Witnesses described the aftermath of the shooting as chaotic.
The police had their guns drawn for a long time, and nobody knew what to do, so people were just still milling about 51st Street. I did hear a few gunshots, and then officers started flooding the area and then pushing people back.
The motive for the shooting remains unknown. The gunman is believed to have acted alone. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
Well, Caroline, the heat advisory goes into effect tomorrow at noon for the majority of the WYMT coverage area. Now, if you're in Lawrence County or Wayne County, West Virginia, you go under an extreme heat warning. Heat indices between 105 to 115. Certainly not out of the question for Tuesday going into the day on Wednesday. Notice the temperatures stay in the mid-90s for Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll see a front push through. We're going to drop the temperatures into the mid-80s for Thursday. Then by the weekend, look at that, upper 70s and low 80s. We will keep the rain and storm chances in the forecast. And with that mugginess that's in the air for the next few days, notice how it drops for Saturday and Sunday. What that means for us, that means we're going to see the heat indices again in the triple digits and then dropping into the upper 70s, low 80s for your Saturday. Let's talk about your Tuesday. 92 will be our high. You see how we get there. We go to 82 by the 10 o'clock hour, upper 80s, low 90s by the 4 o'clock time frame. The complete first alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Caroline.
Eric, thanks. One Perry County man is dead after an ATV crash. 28-year-old Joseph Brett Ray was traveling on an ATV trail when it happened on Friday. The crash was at Bowles Creek in the Cornettsville community. Jesse Day with the Perry County Sheriff's Office says deputies reported the ATV had overturned.
On the investigation report from the deputies that was on the scene, it overturned. He was ejected, partially ejected from the side by side.
Day says the incident is still pending investigation. Funeral arrangements for Ray have been made through Maggard Funeral Homes in Hazard. A Rowan County couple is trying to pick up the pieces of their lives after an overnight house fire claimed their home and left one of them in the hospital. Morgan Bradley says it's a bittersweet day for her family. On one hand, her grandparents, Harold and Loretta Smedley, are alive, but on the other, they have nothing left of the home they've been at for more than 50 years. Bradley says it was around midnight when the fire broke out in her grandparents' kitchen. She says her grandmother made it out fine, while her grandfather has second-degree burns on his face, arms, legs, and feet.
They are in late 70s, early 80s, and they're not able-bodied like they used to be. So it's going to be a family team effort of picking up the pieces together and putting it back together as a whole the best we can.
Harold Smedley is currently being treated at a burn unit in Louisville. We have a link to their GoFundMe page inside this story on our website or on the WYMT News app. Applications are now open for Kentucky families to apply for help staying cool this summer. It's through the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, or LHEAP's Summer Subsidy Program. It offers financial assistance for people struggling to pay their electric bills. Mariah Conjito has what you need to know.
The Community Action Council says they've been receiving calls from people who need help with their electric bills for the last few weeks now. And with applications officially open, they expect hundreds of people to walk through the doors.
People have to make really incredibly difficult choices every day.
The LHEAP program is offered in every county across the state and helps tens of thousands of people.
Our lower income families tend to live in buildings, houses that are older, that are maybe not quite as well maintained, and so they're not as energy efficient.
Sarah Hill works with the Community Action Council agency based in Lexington. It serves Fayette, Harrison, Bourbon, and Nicholas counties.
In our last season, which was Winter Crisis, we helped over 2,600 households.
Now, with temperatures as high as they've been and tight budgets, the LHEAP program is vital for many.
The one that always gets me is an older woman who's maybe her husband has passed and she's sort of on her own, looking for some kind of assistance. And when she finds us and she's able to get assistance through LHEAP, it's just this huge relief.
LHEAP helps people get credit on their electric bill. It's determined by the household's housing category and income level. Hill says this helps people save for the following month. It can even keep people housed.
We can help make that rent payment because their electricity is part of it.
Hill says LHEAP is also important for the vulnerable, like young children and the elderly.
They need to be indoors. They need to be in a temperature-regulated space.
Applications are being accepted through September 12th. They do recommend calling ahead and making an appointment, but if you need to, you can walk in and get help. You can find more information about how you can qualify in this story on the WKYT News app. In Lexington, Mariah Conjito, WKYT.
We're hearing promising news about 2 survivors of a deadly shooting at Richmond Road Baptist Church in Lexington. Pastor Jerry Gum is now able to speak after a bullet to the face nearly tore off his tongue. His daughter says he's still in pain but recovering. The other survivor, Randy Combs, has been discharged from the hospital. He is now learning to raise 5 children on his own after his wife and mother-in-law were killed in the attack. The church community says they are leaning on their faith and each other to keep moving forward. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office says Caleb Rice died at Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital after a crash Friday afternoon on 1275. Maggie Rickerby talked to the Wayne County principal about their loss as they remember Caleb.
He had the sweetest, most contagious smile that you couldn't not smile back at him.
According to his obituary, Caleb Rice was just 3 weeks shy of his 17th birthday. He was set to be a sophomore here at Wayne County High School. Principal Renee Kennett has known Caleb for years.
Caleb will always be known for, I think, #1, his work ethic and his just positive attitude. He was such a fun kid to be around, and he was a bright light in a dark place. You know, he was one of those that just really made everyone be a better person.
Caleb played football and basketball here at Wayne County High School, and Mrs. Kennett says his fiery energy was always fun to watch.
He gave 110%. It didn't matter how big the person next to him was. He was not going to let that deter him from being the best player that he could possibly be.
Caleb's basketball coach, Jared Parmley, describes him as the perfect student athlete. He says Caleb was well-liked, a good friend, and a good teammate. Coach Parmley says he was a great leader to younger players and relentless in his passion for basketball. Mrs. Kennett says Caleb was a high achiever and always pushed himself to take advanced classes.
Probably one of the hardest working young men also at school as he was in his sporting activities.
Many in the community are shocked and heartbroken, but the biggest heartbreak is for Caleb's family. Mrs. Kennett says the best thing folks can do for the family at this time is pray.
I think they would appreciate that more than anything.
Mrs. Kennett says his family is also starting a scholarship in Caleb's honor. They're currently accepting donations. As the community mourns the loss of Caleb Rice, they remember the light he brought into the world. In Wayne County, Maggie Rickerby, WKYT.
We have a link to donate to Caleb's scholarship fund in this story on WYMT.com and inside the WYMT News app. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, we have kept up with Perry County flood victim Missy Sexton since the July 2022 flood. Now she moves into her new higher ground home.
The heat and the stupidity of the humidity continues for your Tuesday and Wednesday. Details in the First Alert forecast coming up.